Greetings all, it's Nefrutat here. I just wanted to show you all this footage before we go into the segment. What we're looking at here in this video is what they're calling fire tornadoes. I saw this footage after we had already filmed our segment, but this is exactly what our master teacher Baba Yaanuwn predicted. It was relayed to us as Sabians that he said on the 30th of June 2024 that we haven't seen anything yet. We're going to see cyclones of fire whipping through various states at very strategic spots or locations. He also added that the ball is in our hands now as a people because Mother Nature, the elders, are here helping us by way of the weather. So I just want to finish off by saying that all of the chaos we're seeing across the planet was inevitable. It's for us to get on frequency and stay out of the way. So these fires.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is.
Hollywood is on fire.
Hollywood is indeed on fire.
Baba did say this would happen.
He let us know.
He did say.
He pre-warned us.
He did.
He did.
So we're going to get to that because there's a few things I want to speak on in terms of this.
Listen, speak on it.
I'm going to speak.
You go right ahead.
I'm going to speak.
Floor is yours.
First of all, layer one, because me and Mordad were following the news stories, our father, Mordad, and it was kind of the perfect storm of events leading up to this, and they just really weren't prepared. Okay, one thing that did stand out to me, the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, black lady, didn't even know who she was until this. So when the fire started, she was partying it up in Ghana. Because you know the president just got elected.
Right, yeah, I've heard.
Inaugurated, rather.
Right.
I was posting it on my story because Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso, was there. And he was riling up the crowd. They were having a good time. So if she was there, she was partying it up.
Yeah, I understand.
They called her out from America and they just heard fun in the background. And they was like, get your ass back to America.
We're burning. We're on fire. And you are partying in Ghana, having the time of your life. And we're burning.
If I was her, I would have just stayed in Ghana. I would have been like, I'm home now.
Yeah, just stay in Ghana. That phone rings. Just click that red button. Decline that call and continue partying it up with Traore. Yeah, I would have stayed right there. I wouldn't have come back.
I wouldn't have. So that's just a side note. In terms of Ghana and Traore, I want to cover that. Probably do a video on that at some point. But that was just a funny thing to note. And yeah, it was just, well, in terms of what happened with the fire, them not having enough water, the rate at which it spread, you could go research about that. So it was crazy in that sense. But immediately as I heard about it, I thought back to an update. So I was like, an update that was relayed on one of our tribal calls by way of the wives. And it was last year, 30th of June, 2024. I immediately thought, because I remember at the time, it stood out to me because Baba mentioned cyclones of fire. And I was like, I got to find that because it immediately triggered this. Because I remember messaging people. I was talking to family at the time, like cyclones of fire.
Yes.
Across America.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's a wild thing to say. It's a wild thing to predict, right? Cyclones of fire is next level. I remember seeing it like, okay, that's end of the world stuff.
End of the world type stuff. And he said, you're going to see tunnels of fire ripping across states. And we're always told, look for our ancestors through the weather. Because he specifically said it's going to be strategic locations across America. So where we're seeing this fire is not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. So, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. He ended that update like, that's why we got to get the heck up out of here.
Yeah, man. The West in general is not looking like a good place to be. But America is looking wild right now. And yeah, I think the fact that he predicted it is obviously heavy. It's obviously something you can't ignore because it was a prediction that at the time, like you said, June last year, who was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we trust you. Yeah, Cyclones of fire is wild. But he was like, yeah, cyclones of fire ripping through the States. And that's exactly what we've seen. You look at the videos.
Yeah, with the power of the wind, the way it carried that fire across the state. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we're seeing exactly that. And yeah, look for our ancestors in the weather. You have to pay attention. Difficult not to pay attention to that. I'm seeing the Hollywood. I'm seeing the actors coming out. They're devastated. The ones I've seen, they're not happy at all.
They're not. One was like... They're just so far separated from reality now. One guy, I think it's James Woods, who, ironically, I think he's Jewish. So when the Palestine stuff happened, he was like, kill them all. Yeah. And now he's like, his house is gone. Yeah. It's like one day you're swimming in your pool, next day it's all gone. I'm like, I don't think that's your average person's experience, that they were swimming in their pool.
They're in their box, right? They're in their box. You got a pool. That's how most of the world reacts. But to them, they're like, yeah, no, this is normal life. And then suddenly it's ripped away from you. It just goes to show you, I think, it doesn't matter who you are, your status, what level, how rich you are. When we reach the end times of the planet, we reach the end times of the planet. That's just what it is. And the weather, the natural phenomena that's involved in these type of activities is too powerful to stop. They can't stop it. They haven't figured out a way how to. You know, they delayed certain things over the years, but ultimately when it's set to happen, it's set to happen. And so, yeah, it's just the beginning, you know.
It's just the beginning. I remember even Bubba was saying, oh, we think that he just says what's going to happen, and it's like years from now, how it used to be. He's like, no, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
We're in it right now.
We're literally in that time right now. And it's exactly that. That's an important point you make, because certain predictions you made going back historically, if you like, they might have been several years, maybe even a decade or two away from manifesting. And then we see it manifest and we're like, yeah, okay, so he was saying this from time ago. But nowadays, literally he'll say something and it could be a few months, it could be a couple months, it could be next week. Something happens, like, oh, yeah, he did say that was going to happen. And so I just... more and more evidence, if you like, as to who the being is. We always have to mention that. He tells us who he is, and if you're skeptical, you go through the predictions, you go through what he says, and you just can't deny certain things. And so, it's pertinent to mention that he said that, because who else said that? Who else could say that? Cyclones, no one else was saying that. So, it's you can't deny it. That's all I would say. You can't deny it, but according to the being, according to Baba Yaanuwn, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
So,
madness. Did you say something like 57 billion worth of damage?
It's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Did you hear about the insurance companies?
Yes. I think because I even said it to you, because I was like, how could they get away with that? Like, because California's somewhere that's prone to wildfires anyway. But a bit before this happened, they dropped a bunch of people's insurance policies. Not to mention cut the fire department budget by millions. So they just weren't prepared for this at all.
Weren't they questioning the mayor about that, about the video you said?
That was the governor of California.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Like, why did you cut the budget? Or why was the budget cut?
No, that was the mayor.
Right.
Of LA.
Because she had no response, right?
Yeah, she was just there like this. And then the governor of California, they were questioning him about the fire hydrants, why they ran dry. Because it's like, I'm on the phone with the president. We're gonna fix this. I'm talking to him right now.
Biden ain't fixing it. Biden ain't fixing nothing. He's on his way out.
But did you see how they were all turning on each other? Trump's like, would have handled this better. Yeah. He's lashing out at the governor.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I want to say. That is very much Caucasian mentality, because we've been told they don't mature past 13. It's when ish hits the fan, it's to turn on each other immediately. So
you see that regularly.
You see that
regularly. But I don't know what you're doing on the phone with Biden. He isn't helping. But I'm literally on my way out, but Trump's about to come in, and you calling me about this for? Just leave me alone. So Trump, I saw him criticizing. Trump always will state, whether rightly or wrongly, that he would have handled it much better. Every time something happens, I see Trump come out like, see guys, I would have done this and that and this. And we need to talk about Trump's activities right now in general anyway. We'll do that separately. He's trying to take Panama. He's trying to get Greenland.
We
got to talk
I saw
about that.
And Canada and all of that.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, side note, it's important to know how Mark Zuckerberg is moving right now. He seems to be making moves to try and align himself with Trump. Just something I've noticed on the side.
Oh yeah, that's interesting because traditionally speaking, obviously you got Elon Musk who does things a certain way, and Mark Zuckerberg who does things a certain way, and on their social media platforms they tend to oppose each other in terms of policy. So that's interesting. But yeah, I remember going back. I remember the mayor having no answers when they were questioning her about, why was the budget cut? She just had her head down. I was like, say something. If you watch the video.
Should have stayed in Ghana.
Yeah, she was there like, why did I come back? Yeah, Trump came out, said what he said. Governors were questioned, just like, why did you run out of water? Why was the budget cut? So on and so forth. And the insurance was wild to me because the way that insurance move in general has always had me like fuming in general. They're just scumbags. It's
wrong.
It's an ultimate scam. It's criminal what they do, man. You have to, in most places, you need insurance by law for certain things. And then when it's time to do what you've been paying them to do, sometimes for years and decades, they find a way out of it. Like, no, we're dropping this. So that is wild to me that they was able to do that. But yeah, it's inevitable. It's going to continue. What we keep emphasizing in these times is that there are different ways in which the West is going to continue to fall, and whether it's by way of natural disasters such as this one and others, whether it's by way of wars, whether it's by way of viruses, whether it's by way of the birth rate and death rate, it's inevitable. So we've said it many times. We'll keep saying it. It is going to continue to happen.
Yeah, that's why we just have to get out of their way. It was funny because me and Mordad were watching interviews of just like your average people who were affected by the fires, your common person.
Yeah.
And there was one black family within the interviews, and they were just like, we came here for the American dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's time for us as a people to realize the American dream was never real.
The American dream was never real. It was never real.
It was built on lies.
It was built on lies. The American dream was another form of slave ship. You have to remember that. They need to bring over certain energy, certain different frequencies or beings or races to fuel their lifestyle. They need us. They need us around them. And we've spoken about this before, and it's why that they're so determined, even though they hate us, to keep us around them. It's a hate-love relationship, but we need them around. It's very similar to the relationship between the sun and moon, their relationship with us. We would be a representation of the sun, and they will be a representation of the moon that does not have its own light unless the sun shines upon it. That's really the relationship between the original African and the original European. And so, yeah, they need us around.
They need us around. And speaking of celestial bodies, actually, that segues me into layer 2. Because when was it? I remember I came out of the movies watching a film with Ray. I think that was January 3rd. We saw Venus in the sky, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And we know what Venus represents.
Yeah, we do. We do know what Venus represents.
It represents Nana.
It does represent Nana.
Also known as Zion or Zuen. But that was just interesting to me because there's a lot happening planetarily anyway. On the 25th of January, we're meant to see a planetary alignment. So there's a lot of energies being pushed through from this time up until the 25th of January. So when this happened, it got me just doing a bit of research, because when I was reading articles about the fire, one thing that was said is Biden had to cancel his trip to Italy, which was meant to be from January 9th to January 12th. And he was meant to meet with Pope Francis, which made me recall a few days before Christmas. I don't know if you remember, I put an article in our group chat. It says something about the Pope to open 5 portals on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, what's this talking about? 5 portals. So I was like, there's got to be some sort of ritual. So starting from Christmas Eve up until sometime in this month, January, on different set dates, he symbolically opens different doors. That's what they're saying. And it's meant to bring forth the year of the Jubilee for the Catholic Church. It's their Jubilee, happens every 25 years or so. So, and they're like, this definitely got to be some sort of ritual. And the fact Biden was meant to go over there, he was meant to help complete the commemoration of this Jubilee event.
I see.
But he can't go.
No, he can't go because the fires.
Yeah, the fires.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Because we know a lot of their rituals, a lot of their practices revolve around, as they understand the power of celestial bodies and the sign of the times and the different things in the sky or moments in time that you have to respect. And there's certain moments in time to do certain things if you want to maximize your potential for success. They understand the science, even if some of us turn away from it. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
Just the whole set of events. And then seeing Venus in the sky, and then there's this ongoing ritual.
Venus was clear, by the way.
Clear.
We can even throw up one of our pictures. We got a few images of it. Venus was clear.
I was trying to get a good picture, but the phones never capture it how you're seeing it. Yeah. But it was so clear in the sky, and the moon was so clear. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But then also, it made me recall an update from 10 years ago, 2015, where the Pope did a tour of North America. And he ended that tour within Philadelphia. He met with Obama and everything, ended that tour within Philadelphia. And then Bubba put out an update shortly after that saying, they had to go to Philadelphia because that's where the portal was for Nanar's exit. Yeah,
so Nanar was on the planet and they went to Philadelphia to see him off the planet. And when you learn about Philadelphia and the Philadelphia experiment, which we put out an episode on, you understand what's going on in Philadelphia and how that has affected our planet and the way that time is here, to be honest. So yeah, it's deep. I'm waiting for maybe more information and information on what's happening now.
Yeah. But so I was just trying to piece it together, but I'm waiting for more like clarification on what's happening. But you see, it's interesting.
It is. You got to pay attention. Like we've said, you got to pay attention to what's going on, especially as it pertains to, we try to show you the relation between the happenings in government and the happenings in religion and how they're connected and they both affect each other. And to understand what government really is and what religion really is. And then you start to put together a better picture of what's happening on the planet. When you see certain things, you'll be like, what's going on there? Even if you don't know the answer, you ask the question, what's really going on there? What's the Pope doing? What was Biden going to do over there? Why was the timing of these fires? How does it relate? Were the ancestors like, nah.
No, it can't be over there.
You ain't doing that. Stay right here, Biden, and just, help with these fires. Biden's like, I can't do anything. I'm on the way out. So yeah, it is interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, there we have it. It's, keep our eye on nature. Always say, look for our ancestors. And he said, the elders are here acting through the weather. So we'll just keep a lookout and
deep.
Get out of the way.
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's deep. The elders are here helping with the weather. Yeah, it's deep. Just pay attention. And then, a lot of what we put out so many things with such foundation of facts and evidence, and everything we do, we try to dissect and give to you in a form that you can digest, whether you know our culture or you don't. And obviously there are certain areas that we go to that are going to sound wild to somebody who's new to this. So watch it play out then. Don't believe us. Just watch it play out. And you'll see.
That should be the new one. Don't believe us. Just watch it play out.
Watch it play out. And you'll see everything we've been saying, which does not come from us. We stress and make sure that that's known. You'll see it all come to play. You'll see it all come to play and come to being. So yeah, pay attention.